Thank you. Good evening. I guess I should be slave number dot. I guess there's no point talking about what Shyam meant to me and how much he did for me and what I owe him and how his filmic vision affected the landscape of filmmaking in the country and his generosity and his kindness. These are all givens. There is a line by Khalil Gibran in his book, The Prophet, where he says, work is love made visible. And if you cannot work with love, then it's better that you should leave your work and sit at the gate of the temple and take alms from those who work with joy. These words seem like they were written for Shyam. I've always believed that death is the most unimportant part of life, and ironically the only inevitable part. What is important is what you do with the time you have. And it's undeniable that Shyam used every single moment of his life, every breath, every iota of energy in a creative pursuit of some kind or the other. And something tells me he's not through. Because I can see this wonderful film being made in the big studio in the sky, with Shyam directing and assisted by his trusty assistants, Girish Kanekar, Mandeep Kakkar, Khinchpal Kasturi, which is the name I owe to Prahlad, and Ashok Mehta is behind the camera. Vanral Bhatia is doing the music. The screenplay is written by Vijay Tendulkar, only slightly ruined by Dubeji's dreadful dialogue. And of course it stars Girish and Smita and Amrish and Om, with guest appearances by Sadhu Meher and Priya Tendulkar. I feel kind of wistful I'm not in that film. I suppose I should be grateful for small mercies. But there are a couple of passages I would like to read to you from The Prophet, which may offer some solace to my foster mother, Neera, and my foster sister, Priya. And a woman said, "Speak to us of joy and sorrow." And he answered, "Your joy is your sorrow, unmasked. And the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. And how else can it be? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart and you will find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart and you will find that you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Some of you say joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, nay, sorrow is the greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come. And when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Just as the heart of a fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so must you know pain. And could you keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy. And you would accept the seasons of your heart, even as you always accept the seasons that pass over your fields. And you would watch with serenity through the winters of your grief. Thank you.
To his numerous film fans, Mr. Shyam Benegal was that original auteur who marched to the beat of a different drummer. But to those privileged to know him more closely, he was many other things as well. A mentor, a raconteur, a connoisseur, a polymath. Listen now to the voices of some of the people who knew Shyam Babu closely and for many years. The first of these will be Prahlad Kakkar, who by his own confession was one of Shyam Babu's early, very early slaves. Tell us more, Prahlad.
Thank you, Guru. I was just wondering how I was going to turn and introduce myself as an early slave. I was slave number 3 and never got promoted, never got demoted. So till today, I remain slave number 3. And we not only inherited that from Shyam, but we actually implemented it back in our times, in our offices, because there was a method in his madness. And the method was that if you were ever going to be a filmmaker, you could not have a designation. Because you could never get up and say, this is not my job. And that is the one thing that he taught us. That everything to do with film, from serving food, to maybe cooking it, to cleaning shit, to designing a set design, to supervising carpenters, to sitting on the tarapa with the light boys. Everything is your job. Because if you don't know how the rest of the team functions, you don't have a team. And that's what it is all about. And people, when I tell them that we were slaves with Shyam, they sort of look at me a little askance and say, isn't that a bit Dacronian? Not at all. We were slaves of a family. When we were slaves, it was a privilege because we became the extended family. And that is exactly how we all felt. And every slave that's in this room today will understand exactly what I'm saying, because being called a slave was special. Because that means that he took time out to actually spend time on how you progressed and what you learned. And the only thing I can say about Shyam Babu was that we all are products and a result of that time that he spent with us, till the last. And the amazing part was that I could never imagine his great generosity of spirit, his capacity to teach, his capacity to mentor, and his capacity to inspire. And that was amazing, watching him right through my student times with him, and watching him inspire actors, watching him inspire writers, watching him inspire people around him to perform beyond what they thought they could. That was his greatest gift to all of us. I think that's his legacy. Thank you.